Hello there, and welcome to today's session of Kulea training. Now, we have got a special guest in the house. If you can see behind me, we have Roxy, the Cane Corsa, just zoning out there, relaxing. Very nice. Let me give a better picture. There you go. There's my Roxy dog, looking very, very comfortable. Okay, Roxy's going to hang out in the background while we do this tuition. And I'm going to show you today how to create plain text emails, which is a bit of a weird thing to show you because you've just invested in Kulea, which is an amazing email marketing automation platform. And you could do beautiful emails in Kulea. I mean, let's just go in and have a look. What sort of emails? You could do really nice really nice HTML emails. Let's have a look at this one. Kulea branded email, Andrew. But we're always playing with in here, and I'm probably going to change it now because it says Cialis, which is, I was using that for a deliverability test. I'm going to get rid of that. Fiddly hard stuff. There we go. Let's change that for now. So we've got these beautiful HTML drag and drop emails in Kulea. Why then would you use a plain text email? Well, the long and hard of it is because they work. Plain text emails look like they come from Outlook. They look like come from Gmail. I've literally just sat here and typed it to you. They feel personal. An email like this is absolutely gorgeous, but it doesn't feel like it's come from a person. It feels like it's come from a department, a brand, a company, the sales department or the marketing department, probably the marketing department, let's be honest. They don't feel personal. And email is an inherently personal medium. An email is sent from a person to a person. Most of the time, that's how you use emails. But then people send out these big bulk emails from one person to 500,000 people, and it feels a lot less personal. So a plain text email allows you to go back to basics and go back to that personal relationship building. They're brilliant for sending cold outreach emails out. You will get on average 30%, and that has been proven, 30% higher open rates, 30% higher engagement rates from using plain text emails. Now, we've got a plain text email simulator in Kulea. And I say simulator because Kulea's plain text emails aren't legitimately 100% plain text emails. And we don't want them to be because you need to insert things like images in your signature. You need to have your tracking code in there, which is actually just a little image hidden away, to know when people have opened it. You need to have all sorts of things in there. And let's be honest, a Gmail editor, an Outlook editor isn't actually plain text. It's HTML. So the Kulea interface is very, very similar. It offers very similar functionality to Outlook or Gmail, things like that. And it does have HTML behind the scenes. But for all intents and purposes, when you receive that email, it looks like a plain text email. So we use the word plain text as a shortcut, but what we really mean is it's a personal handwritten email. Okay, so how do we create those emails in Kulea? Well, essentially what we're doing is we're using a content block, a standard content block, but it's stripped back. So let me go out of here and let's go and create a new email, and I'll show you how to do it. And then I'll walk you through the process. So we go into our email templates, and you can see here's a plain text template. So I'm going to take that one. And it opens me up a plain text email. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, is I'm going to name that email. I'm going to give it a title. So plain text example. Plain text example. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the permalink. So I'm going to edit link, click reset to title, and then save the link. Okay. Nice and easy. What we're going to do, well, we can put in the title. Hi there. Full name. By the way, I'm not recommending that as a subject line. It's not a good subject line. I'm just using that as an example. We're going to select who it's coming from. This one's going to come from Andrew at Kulea.ma. Kulea.co.uk, actually. I'm going to put in Andrew. Yeah. I'm going to also use this to field. So this to field, it's quite a nice thing. It allows me to personalize and customize the two fields. So rather than just going to Andrew at Kulea.ma, it will go to Andrew Nicholson in this case, if I receive that email, at Kulea.ma. I did that using a shortcut because Google remembers things I put in previously. You would actually probably just use this. You'd insert first name. Excellent. And you press that little plus button, and I put a space in after that. I change it to surname. The little plus, click the little plus. There you go, and you construct it that way. So that's how you construct that. Snippet, really useful. I mean, all these things, they've got a little bit of a tooltip there to say what their purpose is, bit best practice. So don't just rely on me telling you now. Go in there and read these little helpful how-tos. They're all over the place. They're littered throughout Kulea. Now, your subject lines, if you're writing cold outreach emails, shorter is better. Between, I think it's 6 and 10 words is ideal. 50 characters at most. Also, don't be too specific. Be a bit vague. Be a bit interesting. Really good subject lines pique the imagination, pique curiosity. So I'm thinking, what could be more, better than that? Great subject line. Oops. Worked wonders. Nice, short, sweet. What's he apologising for? What's he done wrong? Or sorry about that. Great subject line. what are you saying about? Brilliant. Another great subject line that we use. I didn't to send you this email. Full name. There we go. So that's actually one we use ourselves when we're sending out cold outreach emails. Why didn't you want to send me this email? Oh my God. Great email subject lines. Catch the imagination, catch the curiosity, make you want to read more. They should also relate back to the subject of your email. So you don't want to make the first touch point you have with a potential customer one that feels like a bait and switch. So make sure that your subject line does tie into the content of your emails. There's a whole load more I could say about subject lines, and I will do, but not in this session. So if you want to learn more about subject lines, just put subject line into the search in the knowledge base, and I will put together a whole article for you on the subject of subject lines. Snippet is the bit that follows a subject line. So if we go and have a look over test account, let's go find a decent one. Okay, here we go. So Ben Newsleaf, whatever they are, don't know who it is. That's the subject line. Andrew, we've missed you. Oh, bless you. I missed you too, Ben, at New Leaf He. For this bit here, on-site events are back, exclamation mark. View this email in your browser. Okay. This is the snippet, this bit here. Okay. If your email client is using that valuable real estate to say, view this email in your browser, get a different email client. Okay. Because that is not how it should be used. This one's a lot better. This is from WordPress. So Daily Security Digest, your Daily Security Digest for 25th of June 2021. Daily Security Digest. The following is a summary of security-related activity on your site. Great. That's a bit more useful. I'm going back through all my emails here. Find a nice one. There you go. It's a good one. So Succession Plus UK. How to be in control of your business as the economy grows. Well, it's not the most interesting subject line, but what's better is they've used that snippet well. The economy is recovering. What choices does this give you? Is now the time to prepare your business for exit? Succession Plus, logo master. Okay, that's a little bit of a fail. So that's a good snippet. It tells me what's in the email. It makes me want to read on. So that's how a snippet should be used, and an example of how a snippet should not be used. If you don't put in a snippet, just so you're aware, Kulea will by default, actually not even Kulea, the ESPs, the email service providers, will by default use the first couple of lines of text in your email. Now, if the first line of text in your email is an image, then it will use the alt text from that image. If you don't have any alt text for that image, alt text is the text that describes that image. If you don't have any alt text, then guess what? It's going to insert stuff like this. Where was that one? We had logo. There you go. It's going to stick stuff like this: succession plus underscore logo underscore master. So make sure you put the alt text on your images. Okay, so that is your snippet. Now, the forename and surname, we're just going to reinsert these over here so you can understand how to do that. Those, if left blank, the two will literally just be the email address from the recipient. So in my case, it would just be to Andrew@Kulea.ma, which is true. It's very practical, but it's nice to personalize this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert first name and a space, and I'm going to insert surname. And now that's going to Andrew Nicholson at Andrew@Kulea.ma. Increases open rates, increases deliverability. Not a huge amount, but even a little bit, every little bit helps. And for the sake of just doing that, makes it very easy. Okay, the from address is the address it comes from. So in this case, it's coming from andrew@kulea.co.uk. The from address must correspond to your sender domain. So when you set up Kulea, you will tell us what your sender domain is. You can check your sender domain if you go into your owner account. You can scroll down, you see sender settings, and you can see the sender domain here is kulea.co.uk. Fine, that's good. That's exactly what it should be. And therefore, when I'm sending out my plain text example, anything going from kulea.co.uk is absolutely fine. If you are using a different sender domain, let's say my sender domain was Kulea.ma and my from address was Kulea.co.uk, there would be a disparity between the send from and the sender domain, and that would affect your deliverability, and a little alert will come up. So don't do that. Nice and simple. No. Reply to address, again, nice and simple. The reply to is if anyone clicks reply, who that email will then go to. Email service providers do look at any disparities from the from and reply to. If you have them different, it may affect deliverability a little bit. It's not the end of the world if you do have them differently, and you might well want to send them differently. You might want to send it from the head of the company, but you might want the replies to go to the marketing person. That's not the end of the world, but it will have a slight detrimental effect to your deliverability. So you need to weigh up the pros and the cons. The BCC address, you're not going to use this 99% of the time. This is if you have a CRM integration that you want to keep a log of all the emails that go out to your contacts in the CRM. So if you're using Pipedrive, for example, Pipedrive will give you a BCC address. If you're using HubSpot, HubSpot CRM will give you a BCC address. This is where you put it. Okay. Do not put your email address in there, because if you do, you will get a shitload of emails. That's not what it's for. Okay. And it comes with a nice big warning message here saying, do not put your personal email address or anybody's personal email address in here, because you don't want them to receive a carbon copy of every single email you send from Kulea. It's for your CRM integration. It's a free integration with your CRM. It's really, really helpful. It's really useful. So if you are using Pipedrive and you want to keep track of all the emails you send to anybody within Pipedrive contacts, that's the way to do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now that we've set everything up and we now know what subject snippet to format, reply, and BCC are for, we are going to create a template, a signature template. We're going to do that. So we're going to edit the. Actually, first worth mentioning that this comes in two blocks. So you've got two sections here. You've got the content section and you've got the footer section. They're both very discrete. Go and look in the layout. You see they're a bit more obvious there. Footer, content section. And if you look in the outer sections, well, you can't add any sections, I'm afraid, because it's a plain text email. So you can only add content blocks. Very boring. You can add more content blocks if you want. There's one. I've added it now. But it's not really worthwhile doing because we're just going to use the content block that we've got over here. So let me just delete that one again. All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to create my content. Now I'm going to create my signature, actually. So this one, I will use another content block, but let me do this first. So I'm going to write CEO and founder, Kulea.ma. Should probably put my name in there, shouldn't I? Believe it or not, and you probably don't believe it listening to me talking on YouTube, I actually have lots of letters after my name. What are they? They are MSC, D, IP, diploma, and CIM. There you go. Not quite a doctorate, I'll grant you, but it does look nice if I put things like that. All right. So what we've got there is the foundations of a signature, but not really a good one. Now, if this were our HTML email editor, I'd be able to drop in images using the HTML editor. I'd be able to do all sorts of funky, fun stuff with images, but it's not. It's a plain text editor. So it's not as expansive and not as comprehensive in its functionality, but that's okay. I want to insert an image now. I want to insert a signature image here. So how do I do that? Because there's only the insert image button over here, and I need a source. So how do I get a source? Well, the source is just the link to wherever your image is hosted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Kulea's native library. I'm going to go over to my library. I'm going to go to My Images, and I'm going to upload something. So I'm going to choose a file. And you see, here's one I made earlier. I've got an email signature image here. Okay, so I'm going to open that. I'm going to upload that. Okay, there we go. And so that's now uploaded. I'm just going to copy the link. So what that is a link to the source file where Kulea has uploaded it onto our Kulea server. I'm now going to copy and paste that link into my plain text example email. So let's go in. And now I'm going to select my source, paste that in there. And I mentioned previously alt text. This is where you put in the alt text image description. So this is Kulea's many awards and email signature strip. There we go. Now there is a practical reason why you should do that. If you suffer from poor visibility, eyesight, if you're blind, for example, you would use something called a screen reader. Screen readers don't tell you what the images are because they don't know, because they're not smart enough, but they will read the text behind the images and tell you what they are. Equally, it's good for email deliverability. If you don't go to the effort of writing an alt description behind every single one of your images, that's seen as lazy email content creation, and your emails will be seen as spammy. So there's an extra reason to put in the alt text there as well. Okay, so that is one way to create your plain text email signature template. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add on top of that a content block. And then we're going to layout. And if I want to start writing my email content, that's the one I'd edit. So that is a nice way of doing it, nice, quick, and clean. But sometimes you have a really complicated email signature, a lot more comprehensive, loads of tables, lots of HTML stuff, and it's a bit fancy and funky. So there is another way of creating an email signature, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I'm going to steal one from Google, from Gmail. So I'm just going to create compose, click compose, and you see over here I have my, it's very similar to the one I just created actually, but it's a little bit more comprehensive. I'm just going to copy that one. So how do I go about doing that? Well, I'm just going to highlight everything in there. I'm going to Control C. Going to go back into Kulea. I'm going to open up my content block. I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to Control V. And there we go. We've got another email signature. So I've shown you the way it should be done. Now this is a bit of a down and dirty way of doing it. So that works just as well. If I preview that one, there we go. So that is a quick and easy way of doing it as well. What you will find, actually, on all seriousness. So let me just go back to what you will find is that because Google uses proxies, and proxies are, if it's not actually linked to your server, Google uploads your images to their own servers, redirects, routes, all sorts of things to make sure your images are really well optimized and really fast. And that's a good thing. Google is doing a good thing there, but it means you have stupidly complex links. So if I now go into that email, whereas you saw my source file before was nice and simple, it was just Kulea.ma. I go in here now, and I'll show you the HTML because we did mention that there is HTML that sits behind these things. And I'm going to show you just how to access the HTML. So there's a little source code view there. So I'm going to click that source code. So what was a really nice and simple link, it would have been, where is it? So there we go, image source, has now become that monster of a link there. That is going via Google's ContentCon proxy server. It's also going via Amazon AWS.com, ystamp.com. It's all over the place. So just be aware of that. You might want to just upload the images yourself into Kulea and replace these long, unwieldy links with a far cleaner Kulea link. I generally do that as best practice. It's not complicated. If you want to look in, all you need to do, if you want to find those links, is just look for the source. So image, img, image, source equals, and then that's the source link. And you might want to upload your own images into Kulea server and replace these long links with your own Kulea links. Won't affect the signature at all. You won't be able to see any difference with the signature, but it's a little bit of a better way of doing it, a little bit neater, and it means it's a little bit more reliable as well. But there we go, guys. Okay. So a few last things to cover actually before we wrap up for today's session. I'm going to move myself over to the other side of the screen just to show this. I do this without even thinking, but it has been pointed out to me that not everyone realizes that this, if you see a little triangle like this in the bottom right corner of an editing panel, it means you can drag it up and down. So you can make your editing panel bigger or smaller within Kulea. It's a little thing, but it actually becomes quite helpful if you want to preview your text. You know by now how to insert CRM fields, CRM data into your Kulea interface. Once you've created your template, you can then go in and you can duplicate it. So you've got a template, brilliant. Playtext example, should probably call that signature template 1. I want to duplicate it, you just click the duplicate button. Brilliant. And then you've got my plain text duplicate there. Lovely. And then you can go in and you can edit that content in there. So you create a new email. Hi there. Lovely to meet you, etc., etc. Good stuff. Every email that goes out comes with an unsubscribe, a subject access request, a view online. Notice they're all very discreet because it's a plain text email. It's a different layout. They are very discreet at the bottom of your email. They are visible and they have to be visible by law. The subject access request, and I'm just going to preview mode. There we go. Subject access request allows the recipient of your email to click and then view what data you hold on them. GDPR compliant, above and beyond GDPR, in fact, because it's just going about making your life easier because they don't have to submit subject access requests to you directly. They can do it through Kulea. They can then edit their own data. They can update their own data. Good for you. People updating their own contact information. That's what we like. They can, however, also delete that data should they choose. It is, after all, their data. And they can export that data. If they do choose to delete that data, we will send the account owner an alert to let them know that that person has requested they be deleted. We then strongly advise that you go off and you delete any other data you hold on that individual. So CRM information, Excel spreadsheets, look down the back of the sofa at the old filing cabinet you got in the office. Anywhere where you might be holding information on that recipient, you then have to delete it by law because at the end of the day, they are the data owner. The data subject is the data owner. You are not the data owner. You are just holding their data for them and using their data. The whole premise of GDPR is that that data belongs to the data subject, not to you or anybody else. Worth mentioning there, worth noting. Unsubscribe. You know what unsubscribe is. By law, they have to have an unsubscribe mechanism in place. They just click that button down there to unsubscribe. They have to click another button. So it's not instant unsubscribe by clicking this, because otherwise all sorts of nasty bot activity would unsubscribe your subscribers. They have to go to a page. They will then visit that page and click another button to say, yes, I really do want to unsubscribe. Cool. I think that has covered everything for today. It's been a bit of a meaty session. I do apologize. I've rambled on for, well, probably about nearly 25 minutes. But it is a very good introduction to Kulea. Certainly, writing emails. A lot of what you've seen today, you will be able to then translate into your HTML course, your HTML lessons when you're building sexier, funkier emails. But this is all really good foundation best practice that you need to know about. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you would like to learn more, click the box at the top of the screen, or if you would like to subscribe to our updates and alerts with new features and new functions, click the like button, or no, click not the like button, whatever it is, the subscribe button at the bottom, and that will alert you every time we post a new video up on YouTube. Those videos are invaluable if you're a customer of Kulea, and I hope you are. If you're not, give me a call. Come to the website, Kulea.ma. But if you are a customer, and I'm assuming you're a customer because you're watching our tuition videos, we release regular new functionality and features. We educate you on how to use those new features and functions by posting videos just like this one up online. So check it out, sign up, subscribe, likey. Okay, lovely to see you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day.